Today my review is going to be on these new foundations that I saw or that Revlon has just come out with recently. And sorry for the paper that you hear. That's my notes that I use all the time. But it's these foundations. I'm sure you've seen them in displays already at like Targets and Walmarts and what have yous. And as you can see, I have choose colors because drugstores don't like to make colors for black people. I shouldn't say that because that doesn't sound politically correct, but whatever. They don't like to make the right shades, I should say. Like, I don't fit in any drugstore color at all. Nothing ever matches me in a drugstore. So I had to buy two colors. But anyways, the foundation is the Revlon Nearly Naked. And I heard I've seen videos where some people are saying that they're thinking that it's supposed to be comparable to the Urban Decay Naked foundation. I wouldn't know because I don't have that foundation and I don't have any desire to even get that foundation. So moving on to this foundation. I bought mine at Target. I've seen them everywhere now. I've seen them at Walgreens. I've seen this foundation, I believe, at CVS. I've seen it at Target. I've seen it at Walmart. I've seen it everywhere now. I didn't really pay attention to the prices because I bought mine at Target, and at Target it's $7.99. So that's just, and it's probably around that price at Walmart, if not cheaper than Target. But I would know at Walgreens and like CVS's and stuff like that, it's going to cost more because it always costs more at those places. The coverage on these, I would say, is light to medium. I have mild acne scarring on this side of my face, like in this area and down here. And it covered really well up here. Oh, by the way, I am wearing it today, in case anyone was wondering. My colors are Cappuccino and Caramel, however one you want to say it. But anyways, the coverage is light to medium. I have acne scarring here and down here. And for the most part, it covered all of my acne scarring except for down here. I still had to use a concealer. I think depending on what you use to apply it with, you can get more coverage. But I don't see you being able to get full coverage out of these foundations. I just don't see it. Unless you have perfect skin and there's nothing wrong with your skin at all, then you might be able to get away with just getting a couple, or just using it as full coverage. But I just don't think it's going to be full coverage. If you have acne scars or anything else, you're going to need some kind of concealer to cover it with. But that's what the point of concealer is for. So it's not that bad that it's not full coverage. You get 1 fluid ounce as the typical foundations all across the board. As you can see, no freaking pump. Ugh, it is so annoying when they make foundations, especially drugstores, with no pump. It should be illegal in my opinion. I don't appreciate it. I don't understand it. I don't like it. I wish they would knock it off and just freaking put pumps on these goddamn things because it is so annoying. You have to pour it and it's wasteful because and I always pour way more than what is necessary. And I end up wasting it because this is really liquidy, so it just flies out of the jar and I can't control it. Well, I can, but not really. But I use it to apply it with this Real Technique stippling brush. I have used it a regular traditional foundation brush, and I have used it with a sponge. With a sponge, it's going to shear it out, but I think it gives the best look to it. You have to be careful when you use, or for me, I should say, when I use this stippling brush, I notice as I'm applying it, because I always apply my foundation with a mirror, like I'm looking at it like I need to see what I'm doing. So I noticed that when I was applying this, or when I do apply it with this brush, it does look streaky as I'm applying it because I think it's a liquidy thin consistency. So you have to make sure that you really are buffing it in as you are going. Otherwise, it's gonna streak and you don't want to be streaky. So I'm not saying that this brush isn't the best brush to use. Just make sure that you're really buffing and going over it. Don't just go over it and leave because it's gonna streak. The longevity of this foundation is typical. It's not a long wearing foundation. I think you can get anywhere from like 5 to 8 hours with it. I got a pretty long time. I never seem to have issues with foundation wearing off my face. I've never had that happen for me personally. When I hear videos of people are like, yeah, I did wear off, but at the end of the day it was blotchy. And I'm like, what the heck were you doing that it just like came off of your face? I've honestly never had that happen with any foundation that I've ever used. So it lasts long on me, even though I do have combination oily skin. I just blot my face, and I only had to blot like one time with this foundation, maybe twice, but it wasn't a whole lot because I mean, it's not a matte foundation. It is definitely more on the satin. I don't really know the technology or the technical terms. If it's not matte, then it's dewy or natural finish, satin finish. I don't know. It's just not matte finish. So it's got a little luminosity to it, which I don't mind. Which is really weird because typically I hate anything that makes me look dewy or shiny because I have oily skin and I'm going to make my own dewy and shiny on my own. So I don't need anything to do that for me. And typically I like to look as matte as possible. And I know that's not even natural looking. I probably walk around looking like a corpse because nobody's face is completely matte, but that's typically what I like. But with this foundation, I don't know if you can see it, I feel like I look a little glowy and dewy, and I don't mind it if it stayed like this, but I know as the course of the day is going to go on, because I just applied this, it's going to get a little more oilier looking, and I'm going to have to blot, and I'm going to have to use the blotting sheets as well. So having said that, I feel like it is better suited for like dry to normal skin tones, but I feel if you are combination oily, you can wear it. You're just gonna have, it just depends on how you prepare to wear that foundation, whether it's a mattifying primer or a mattifying setting powder or translucent powder. You're definitely gonna have to set it if you're oily because it's just gonna get oily on you super fast, and that's not what you want. You don't be walking around looking like Crisco's on your face, a disco ball, like you can fry chicken on your face. You don't want to look like that, so just set it and forget it. I don't know who said that. It was from an infomercial. Set it and forget it, but I don't remember which one it was from. But it does have a lot of shade ranges. I didn't see all those shade ranges at first when I first bought it because I purchased this one first, the caramel, knowing that it was going to be too light. But I thought maybe once I looked at it outside of the bottle that it would be darker like the Whip foundation, because the Whip one actually I can work with that, the Color Stay. The Revlon Color Stay Whip Foundation, I have that in caramel and they're not even the same color at all, which is really weird to me because even this color, Cappuccino, is not the same color Cappuccino as the Revlon Color Stay. This one is way red. Like this is why, like this color, I purchased this one second thinking that this one would be my actual color. But when I swatched it, it was super red and I was like, ugh. So I mixed these two together to get my perfect color, and I shouldn't even say perfect color because it all depends on how well I mix it at that time. I start with this color and then I mix this color in because I noticed that when I started with this color and mixed this color in, it was still too red for me, so it works better when I start with this color and then mix this color in. And for references, I am NC50 in MAC. And so if you're that color, you're probably going to have to mix these two just to get your color. And do I think it's worth it? No, it's way too much work. But they do have a lot of shade ranges. I don't see a lot of places that have the darker shade ranges. I just so happened to be zoning Target and I saw this one, so I hurried up and grabbed it. Supposedly there's more darker colors in this, but I have not seen them. So I don't know where Revlon's got them at. They hide them in the back somewhere. They don't want us to know they got them. I don't know, but I haven't seen them anywhere. So darker ladies, I don't know what to tell us because they just, it's not looking good for us as far as the shade ranges. But there's at least like 10 colors, but most of them were not darker shades. They were from light to medium, and then there was maybe like 4 dark shades that I saw. So yeah, that sucks. I've had these products for about 2 weeks. I haven't used them consistently for 2 weeks because I have a lot of foundations that I like to use, and this is not my absolute favorite, so I don't reach for it all the time, but I have worn it about 5 times, so I feel like I do know what I'm talking about as far as the product goes, or how I can give you my opinion on the product and whether or not I think it's a good product. The pros of this foundation is that it's really dewy. It looks really pretty. It looks very, I don't want to say it looks very natural because I feel like I can always, whenever you put makeup on, I always feel like you can tell it to some degree that you're wearing makeup. But it is not like my MAC Pro Longwear. When I put on my MAC Pro Longwear, I look like I got a just flawless face. Like, you can tell I'm wearing makeup, but it looks really nice. Whereas with this one, I feel like you can tell I'm wearing makeup, but it looks natural and it looks nice. I don't want to say like when I put it on, it's like my skin, but better, because I feel like you can still tell people are wearing foundation when they're wearing foundation, even if they think it's natural looking. You can still tell to some degree that they have on foundation. And that's pretty much the only pro to it. The cons is that it is light to medium coverage, and for some people, you know, that could be a good or a bad thing. If you have really severe scarring, I don't even think you want to bother with this. If you have really oily skin, I don't want to say that you can't use it, because anybody can use this foundation. It just depends on how you prepare for it. I do think it's a nice foundation. I'm not going to say like it's horrible. It is what it is. It's a light foundation. It doesn't feel like it's on your face when you're wearing it. You feel like your skin is breathing. I haven't broken out from it. I don't really break out too much from foundations really in general. But I don't know if I said the colors, by the way. Caramel and Cappuccino are my colors. And this one is too light and this one is too red. But mixed together, they are really nice. And I had a thought of what I was going to say, but I completely forgot. I wouldn't repurchase it again just for the simple fact that they don't have my color, and I don't feel it's worth it to mix these two colors to make my color, because this together would be about 16 bucks if I keep buying them, and I feel like I may as well just save up my money and go get a higher end product and not have to mix anything. So I would recommend it for somebody who was looking for a nice drugstore product that wasn't full coverage, it didn't feel heavy on your face, and you wanted a nice glow, a nice luminous glow to your face. It's not a bad product, so I don't want to say it is just because I wouldn't repurchase it again. I wouldn't repurchase it, like I said, just because of the colors alone. If they came out with a color that I could work with, then I probably would buy it again. But once these run out, that's it. So that's it. Take it or leave it, or take it as you will on this review. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace out. Bye.